Dominic Breazeale will face off against fellow heavyweight contender Artur Szpilka on February 25th on the undercard of Deontay Wilder's next title defense in Birmingham, Alabama. This is an interesting fight to me. Both Breazeale and Szpilka are coming off losses in heavyweight title fights. Breazeale was stopped by Anthony Joshua in 7 rounds, I believe it was, and Szpilka was knocked out cold by Deontay Wilder in, 9 or 10 rounds. So they're both coming off losses, both coming off knockout losses. So they're probably going to be in a similar place mentally, which kind of evens the playing field here. And I think Breazeale, the Joshua Breazeale fight was certainly more recent than the Wilder Szpilka fight, wasn't it? Unless my memory is seriously misleading me here, but I believe it was. Yeah, the Wilder Szpilka fight was early 2016, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Whereas the Joshua Breazeale fight was much later in the year. So Breazeale was in action more recently than Szpilka. How much of a difference that'll make? Probably not much, because it's only a couple of months difference. Stylistically, it's an interesting fight. Breazeale is strong and tough, but he's slow and ponderous. He's 6'7". He can punch, but his boxing skills leave a lot to be desired. I think we can all agree on that. Excuse me. Artur Szpilka, on the other hand, to me is the better boxer of the two. He's a southpaw, he's tricky, and I've seen quite a few of his fights. But the performance he put in against Deontay Wilder, even though it was a losing performance, I think that's the best he's ever looked. That's certainly the best I've ever seen him. He was using good foot movement against Wilder, bouncing in and out, giving Wilder angles, and making himself a very difficult target, at least for Wilder. Dominic Breazeale is nowhere near as athletic as Deontay Wilder. He's not as fast as Deontay Wilder. He doesn't have what Richard Dwyer likes to call ring coverage with his right hand. So, there are certainly a lot of plus points here for Artur Szpilka. But at the same time, I suspect Dominic Breazeale is going to take a lot more risks against Artur Szpilka than Deontay Wilder did, because Wilder was really very cautious with Szpilka. He couldn't pin Szpilka down, and therefore he wasn't confident of letting his big bombs fly as frequently as we normally see from him. Normally Wilder throws a lot of power punches, but against Szpilka he was uncharacteristically cautious because he didn't have the opponent exactly where he wanted him in terms of positioning. With Dominic Breazeale, I think he's going to be far more liberal with his power punches than Deontay Wilder was. I think he's going to keep his hands high and attempt to walk Artur Szpilka down. So he might actually put Szpilka under more pressure than Wilder put him under. Even though he don't have the speed and athleticism of Wilder, if he puts his hands up, marches forward, that might actually make things more difficult for Szpilka than he found in the Wilder fight, because a lot of people actually had Szpilka ahead at the time of the knockout, or at least level, or they at least had the fight close. Whereas with Dominic Breazeale against Szpilka, he might put him under pressure from the opening bell and be winning rounds on work rate, pushing the guy back, making him uncomfortable, not giving him the space to use that good in and out movement and that good footwork that he does have, or that he did display in the Wilder fight. So to me, this is an interesting heavyweight fight, a crossroads fight of sorts. Again, I'm not saying these two fighters are the highest level heavyweights out there. They're definitely not. But they are, at least on paper, fairly evenly matched. They've both just come off losses for the heavyweight title. So yeah, it's a fight I think is fairly decent. Let me know what you think about this fight in the comment section below. If I had to pick a winner, man, it's tough, actually. Szpilka's definitely the more skilled guy. Definitely. He's shorter, he's smaller. A lot of people are saying he could even make cruiserweight. In fact, I heard some rumors that he was actually trying to get down to cruiserweight. So there are pluses and minuses for both guys. I'm tempted to pick Artur Szpilka to win the fight on points, but if Breazeale can just grit it out and tough it out, he might be able to get to Szpilka late in the fight with just consistent pressure. So I'm really not sure. I might have to sit on the fence. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. It's your boy Hatman, I'm out.